prepare, respond, serve. This is 5 Stone. The contents of this podcast are the personal opinions and views of 5 Stone and our affiliates. This is not a recommendation for medical practice or a guide for decision making or even to take place for your own personal judgment. We recommend that you always seek out in-person professional training and always follow your established policies and procedures. Now, with that said, let's get after it. I'll tell you what, boy, isn't that good?
It's delicious.
That's some good coffee right there.
It's real good.
All right, guys. This is 5 Stone's Motivation Monday.
Motivation.
All right. And we're going to tell you something. This one is not brought to you by Twisted Tea that you see on the table.
Yeah, not a sponsor.
They're not a sponsor yet. They could be. But we are going to talk about them today. But most importantly, a company we're going to talk about today is Brewed. Brewed coffee in Lexington, Kentucky, by the University of Kentucky. What's that main strip that runs down there by the Nicholasville Road?
Yeah,
right?
Nicholasville Road. Yeah, I think.
Man, these guys have been through it. The government tried to come and shut them down with all this COVID-19 restrictions, and they took a stand. They're like, enough is enough. And so we went by and supported them. We got some of their coffee. We got a shirt you can see here now. The first revolution started with tea. The second one starts with coffee.
Yeah.
And got some of their coffee. And the new one here, I don't know if you can see it on the shelf or not behind us, but we got the Tyrant's Tier coffee. It is unbelievably good.
It's really good.
Anyway.
I was up there a couple weeks ago. Stopped by. I tried to buy T-shirts from them. It was already sold out.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of support. And, I was talking to the cashier, and basically I'm like, hey, it's my first time. What do you suggest? She was super nice. Told her I traveled like nearly 100 miles to get up there to come support them. She's like, well, somebody just told me the other day they drove from Atlanta, Georgia, just to go to Brewed Coffee.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, that is incredible.
Yeah. Dude, that's cool.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I tried to buy everything I could there that day and try to leave a huge tip because I just wanted to support them.
Yeah, I think I dropped like
they're in a fight.
Yeah, over like $100 just on like just stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's worth it. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so I've been talking to this to the owner, Andrew Cooper, and he is going to come on the show. We're just trying to coordinate a time when we're going to come on, and that way you guys can hear his story and hear what's going on, because his mission now, because the state dropped all the charges and they're back open now, but his mission now is helping other small businesses who are under the same type of attack to be able to operate and function. You know, these small businesses are all connected. You know, that's what's crazy. It's like you may think, oh, well, I'm just going to shut down the coffee shops, but you can leave your strip clubs open. That's okay, you know, and your bars and stuff, but just don't go get some coffee, you know. But
until Walmart, places like that shut down, nobody should shut down.
It's bull. But anyway, so these coffee shops, if they're cut down, for example, where does he get his coffee? Well, that affects them. You know what I'm saying? Where do they get their supplies? Where do they get everything else? And it's all connected. It's not just a business. We're all connected in small business. So he took on a mission himself to do this. And so, Andrew, man, we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for getting on the show with us, and looking forward to seeing you here hopefully this week.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyway, and that leads us to the topic of this Motivation Monday, and it is don't fear failure.
Don't fear the reaper, is that what you said?
Don't fear the reaper, kind of, yeah. Don't fear failure.
We should have played that.
The thing I think that a lot of people have a lack of motivation, I would say, is because they worry about not succeeding in what they want to do. Mm-hmm. So it may be, say you want to start running. You want to start your own business. You want to start whatever it might be. You're too afraid of what other people say, what other people have said, what they think, how your image is going to be portrayed to other people, or maybe even your fear of failure, which really isn't failure. The only way you fail is if you just quit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So kind of tie this into Thomas Edison, right? Because like I learned about Thomas Edison in school, but I was like, man, I really want to dig into this dude because I've heard so much stuff about him. So let's review who Thomas Edison was. He was known as America's greatest inventor. He was born in 1847 and died in 1931. He was from Ohio. This cat had over almost 1,100 patents. He got nearly deaf at an early age because of like a mastoiditis or something that he had. But some of his inventions were, first off, he was told in school that he was too stupid to learn by his teachers. He got fired from 2 jobs because he was non-productive. And you think of these dates, 1847 to 1931. How much schooling really was there at that point? So it shows you how much of a genius this guy was.
How old was he when he died? I can't remember when you said he was born.
1931 is when he died. He died in 1840s. He was born in 1847.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Pretty old. So this dude created electric power generation, okay? Before that, the only type of electric power they had was like battery powered. That's it. They'd have like a really low volt battery that could just barely put out electricity for anything. It wasn't really like generating electricity. So he developed electric power generation.
And you really had to be special to have that, probably.
Yeah.
Your average household probably didn't have that stuff.
He developed. So whenever he was young, he dropped out of school. And then he went to work on the railways, and he got into like Morse code and like learning like the telegraph systems and all that. And he's like, how are these people communicating through these dots and dashes? He named his 2 kids nicknames Dot and Dash.
Really?
That's how much this dude was into it.
Wow.
Like, hey Dot, hey Dash, beep 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 beep. That's how you call him across the house.
Yeah,
you know?
He loved Morse code.
Yeah. So he developed what we're using right now, sound recording. It's one of his first inventions.
Really?
He developed motion pictures, and he developed the world's first industrial research lab, phonograph, and transmitters for the telephone and the microphone, and the incandescent light bulb. Just ridiculous. Everything we're using right now, is all because of this guy.
Everything that makes our life awesome.
Yeah. So they're telling me, like he said, I think he failed like 1,000 times before he created the light bulb. Like he failed, quote unquote, 1,000 times before this light bulb got created. But they asked him one time about his failures, and he said, how was he worded? He said, I haven't failed. I just figured out 10,000 ways that won't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a powerful mindset to have.
Yep. And it's never, like you said, you don't fail until you quit.
Yeah.
And every time it doesn't work, it's just a lesson.
Yeah. So if you want to go running, so say I'm going to go out and I'm going to run a mile, and I get a quarter of it, and it's like, well, I didn't make a quarter mile, I'm a failure. And you just stop. Like, it's a process to learn how to get past the quarter mile, right?
Yeah.
How to get past the half mile, past the 3/4 mile, and how to hit that 1 mile mark. Mm-hmm. Same thing with business, same thing with your relationships, same thing with your work, with your job, whatever it might would be. We're told so often in life, like, we're from a small town, you know. If we were to listen to what everybody else's opinion was about us doing this podcast right now,
bro,
you know,
it'd never work.
No, the small-minded people like Thomas Edison's teachers, Thomas Edison's employers that fired him because he was non-productive. That's the best thing ever happened to him.
What's the guy that played the voice of Darth Vader?
Oh,
what was his name? James Earl Jones.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
If I'm not mistaken, like in school, his teachers, he couldn't read. Or something like it was either he couldn't read or dyslexic or something.
Really?
And his teachers told him he'd never amount to anything.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah.
I had a teacher here in Adair County, and I won't mention his name. Probably should, but I won't. I'll never forget, we were in a chemistry class one time, and I asked him to repeat something or explain something because I wasn't understanding what I was saying. And I'll never forget it, man. Right in front of the whole classroom. He said, I can teach anybody with half a brain. I guess I can't teach you then, huh? So, being the guy that I am, I kicked the desk back, threw my feet up on the chair, and I sat there and I said, do something. And I sat there and I just didn't do crap in that classroom the rest of the year, but I nerded up, man. I nerded up and I got through it, and now, you know, medical provider.
Yeah.
Now I'm studying body chemistry all the time. So,
right.
Yeah. So if you listen to all these small-minded people's opinions, you're never going to get nowhere.
It's funny how
be successful.
I hate to say it, but man, it's like teachers are notorious for telling people they're going to fail.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah. There is a thing to that, you know, and it really depends on how you perceive that. Mm-hmm. If you've been taught that people are going to talk down to you, people are going to talk bad about you, people are going to, you know, say that you can't do this, you can't do that. Use it as fuel, man. What do you want to do? It's not what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, nobody gonna tell you can't do nothing.
Dang straight, man.
Yeah,
it's like medicine.
That's kind of the way I am.
Yeah, I don't want to keep turning us back to medicine, but just like in your career, people thought, hey, man, you probably can't do this, you can't do that. You're getting into law enforcement with the SWAT medic stuff. People are probably like, man,
Man, I remember growing up, EMS is all I ever wanted to do. As a kid, I had ambulances and fire trucks and all kinds of stuff playing around. Man, I got made fun of so much for loving that.
Yeah.
Wanting to do that. I got made fun of so much.
Yeah.
But who cares?
And just like band. So it's all the band nerds. It's just like, me and you both play drums in the same band, and people make fun of us until you say, like, yeah, well, we won like 15 state championships.
Yeah, like we were the only thing in our school that won anything. Yeah,
and you get all these jocks in football and basketball's like, oh, band nerd, like you're not winning jack crap right now, so whatever.
Yeah, I played a talent show in high school with a few people, and it was a female that wanted to sing a Jewel song. Of course, I played drums, but it's simple, super simple drum part, and we won the talent show. She was super good. And we won the talent show. It was like you won like $100.
There you go.
And people was like, awesome drumming skills, man. It was nothing. It was super simple. I got made fun of because it was a stupid, simple drum beat. But we had the money.
That's right. You had the money. That's right. I'll never forget. One of my best friends, dude, he goes to be the first male cheerleader in the high school ever in the history of the school system. And we're all like, dude, that is so bad. Like, come on, man. Yeah. Like, you got all these hot girls out there doing this stuff, and there he is. Yeah. It's like, you're ruining the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
Until we saw him on the first game.
Yeah.
And then he was throwing them up in there and catching them. We're like, that dude's a genius.
Wish I could do flips.
Yeah. So, if you listen to everybody else, it's pretty much wasting your entire life. It's the fear of failure. I call it quick quitting. Yeah. And that's what this Andrew Cooper writer has done with Brewed. He had everything to lose, man. Think about it. He could have lost. He could have had to pay these fines, go to court, been sued, lost everything he's ever worked for his entire life, and not been able to support his family.
Yeah.
But he knew what was important. He had all these people telling him no, 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 from the highest levels of government, no.
And they done everything to knock his feet out from under him,
Yeah.
Took his ABC license and took his health license where he couldn't serve food anymore.
It's ridiculous, man.
But what'd he do? Kept them doors open.
Yeah, then he's like, hey, we're a, what was it? When it came out, it's not a theater, but
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Yeah, they changed the classification or whatever so it could stay open. But I mean, he did what he had to do, and look what happened now.
And you got to play that game in order to stay in the fight.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Don't fear failure because it's really not failure. It ends up being success.
Yeah, because, and if you get told that over and over, that you can't do this, can't do that, you're going to fail. Sometimes that'll stick. And I will have to say, like, I would have liked to have gone to college probably and done something, get a degree. But, that fear of failure, I suck at math. I ain't been in school since high school. That stuff has kept me from really going on and doing anything. Yeah. But I'm actually at that point in my life where I really don't care what anybody else says.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And I've kind of hit that the past few years. I'll be honest with you. Here I am. I'm 41 years old, and it's kind of just past few years. It's kind of been like I've worried about what everybody's thought to do what I want to do.
And I'm in a position at work, where I can't worry about who likes me or not. I got a job to do, whether they like me or not. Still got a job to do. And to be honest with you, like, it's weird, but I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
In a position where people hates me, who cares?
Whatever.
Yeah. I live for me and mine.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's right, man. Just like that Out the Store Nothing podcast. You know, you protect your front line. You protect your front line. Everything else is protected right along with that path. You know, whether you're at work, whether you're at home, whatever. Yeah. So you do what you got to do to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool deal, man. Anything else on this topic? Well, I'm going to sip a little more freedom here.
Yeah. God, it's so good, isn't it?
I just want to go find Betsy Ross and give her a high five.
Oh, right.
And I drink that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's a really good topic. We could probably talk on this for hours.
So the people out there listening, don't fear failure. Look at Thomas Edison. Look what he went through. Look what he suffered through. Look what he was told, how he was put down, how he was made fun of, how he was fired from jobs. He was told he was stupid. And he's America's greatest inventor. And because of him, you're here in this podcast. Yeah. Because of him, you're able to heat your home, have lights in your home. You are able to do all of your every single day activities. So those people who talk down to you, think you're going to fail, think you're not good enough, keep on pushing.
Yeah, don't let anybody get in your head.
That's right. Delete it.
The only one that can decide your fate is you.
Yeah.
Nobody else can affect that.
I like it. That's right, man. Persistence over fear, man.
No matter how many times you fall down, pick yourself up.
Yep. 10,000 times was not a failure. It was 10,000 ways of what not to do.
Yep.
He learned.
And something that I've said for years, lessons learned are much better than lessons taught.
That's true.
I can teach you, I can tell you over and over that, hey, this don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But until you have that moment where you screw up or do something you're not supposed to do, you'll never forget it.
Yeah, that's true. Just like a kid, you know, say, hey, don't touch that. That's hot. Don't touch it. It's hot. Then they sneak over and touch it, and they're like, I'm not going to touch that anymore.
Exactly. Man, my mom talked about it all the time. Yeah. It's like, let him touch the stove.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll learn.
Never touch it again.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. So just like running, and we talked about that several times, but you can sit here and say, hey, man, whenever you get to mile 3, it's going to start sucking pretty bad.
Yep.
I'm like, okay. But until you experience it and you go through it, and you learn that lesson of how to prepare to get to mile 3, you're never going to get past mile 3.
Well, speaking of running, I'll never forget it. In basic training, we was running this sand track, and I don't know how many miles. I don't know how many laps we've done. And that classic pain in your side when you're running, you know, it was killing me, man. I couldn't hardly breathe, couldn't hardly stand up straight. And when drill sergeant was kind of close, like I was coming up on him, and I'm like, hey, drill sergeant, you know, like, my side's killing me. I'm like, hey, what do I need to do? He's like, keep running, Private. That's how you fix it. You just keep running.
Yeah.
You push through it.
Yep.
Drive on.
Yeah.
And it'll go away.
And it did, didn't it? It did. Yeah. And you get in that moment, it's just like, I got to stop.
Yeah.
I got to quit. You know? That's great.
David Goggins, he talks about, when you get to that point where it's like, hey, I can't go on. You've got a lot left.
Yeah.
You're
40% is what he said you're at when you think you want to quit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's true, man.
It is true.
Guys, we hope you enjoyed this podcast. Again, don't quit. Don't fear failure, because it's really not failure. No. It is your steps to success. Take this podcast and share it with people who may be struggling, who may need this little bit of motivation. Come back to it throughout the week. Come back to it whenever you want to throughout your life. This is out there. It's permanent. It's going to be there. Just go back and revisit anytime that you need. To our guys and our people over at Brewed Coffee, thank you so much for taking a stand for freedom, for our Constitution, and for America. You did more than just stand up for yourself. You stood up for the people of this state and from this tyrant of a governor that we have. And I'm just going to call it out and say it like what it is. It's pathetic that what we're having to go through in this country. How you can cherry pick and choose who can stay open and who can do what. That's no way to run a country and to make your people suffer. That's exactly what they're going through and doing.
So I think Brew's stance when they stood up and said no more, that was the equivalent of the shot heard around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And whenever they said the second revolution starts with coffee, you know, it's got some truth to it, because they've had enough.
Yep.
You know, and they're taking a stand. So they didn't quit. They didn't fear failure. They pushed on through, and their steps that they took are now opening the doors to all these other businesses. So, guys, support Brewed Coffee.
Man, that's all I've got at the house anymore.
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
I ain't drinking nothing else.
Yeah, it's really good coffee. Like, you know, I've said that video that we made where I was out there in the parking lot drinking, you know, it's like, it tastes like freedom.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's legit some of the best coffee. That Tyrant's Cherry.
It really is, yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So
they got something going. Yeah. Even if all this wasn't going on, like, if you found Brewed, that's one of them diamonds in the rough that you find. You know, like every now and then you'll stumble across a restaurant that's like, oh man,
like it's a little hole in the wall.
Yeah,
you know, Mexican restaurant that nobody heard of. It's like,
listen, man, like all my years in Louisville, I know some hole in the wall restaurants that are unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think Brewed is one of them. It's like you just kind of happen upon it.
Yeah,
it's delicious,
dude. When they make their coffee, like it takes they take their time making that coffee, that slow drip process. I don't know. I'm not a coffee connoisseur or whatever, but it's like, I kept watching. I'm sorry it's taking a while, but trust me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I'm like, man, this is, what are they doing? What are they doing? And then I took a sip of it, and I was like, I would have waited 3 times.
And seriously, like if you've never been, go in there and ask for their recommendations. They won't steer you wrong.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
They give me some good coffee.
Yeah, good stuff. So we'll put their link below it. They're going to offer us an affiliate link as well. So if people wanted to click on that, then that could kind of help, 5 Stone, help our channel and help our podcast and stuff grow as well. But even if you don't click on that link and you go to their site, whatever, we just want to support them for what they're doing. So
also, December 31st, they just posted on their Facebook yesterday, I think is what it was, because of a anonymous donation from somebody in the public. All first responders on December 31st get free coffee.
Awesome, man. Yep. That is so cool. Yeah. Yep. We can't wait to get him on here. So anyway, guys, don't fear failure, because it's not failure. It is a step in a progress to success.
Lessons learned.
That's right. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. We'll check in the next podcast.
Yep.
This has been a production of 5 Stone. I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to check out our podcast and videocast today. You can check us out online at 5stoneusa.com. That's the number 5, 5stoneusa.com. We are also on all the social media platforms. Our podcasts are now live. Videocasts are on YouTube, and our audio podcasts are on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, all the major podcast platforms. Thank you, guys. Again, we cannot thank you much for all your support and all that you do for us. Remember, prepare, respond, and serve, because someday you might be that first responder.